Introducing Ape Escape. You'll use plenty of anti-ape devices, like a stun club, a slingshot, and monkey radar. You'll chase apes in a tank. You'll steer a remote-control car. You'll even launch an aerial attack in a propeller-powered Skyflyer. But you better prepare yourself, because things can get pretty hairy. Ape Escape. You better get them before they get you. PlayStation.
Ape Escape is practically all but dead these days, but was a landmark series for PlayStation once upon a time. The franchise has been in quite the hairy predicament these days. No new mainline release in nearly 20 years since Ape Escape 3 on PS2 all the way back in 2006, the latest being a lackluster PlayStation Move title in 2011. Sony has since acknowledged the series in dribs and drabs with a poorly optimized PAL port of Ape Escape 2 in 2016 on PS4, and is borderline unplayable on PS5 due to nasty graphical hiccups. In the summer of 2022, PlayStation 4 and 5 received a Classics catalog lineup offering PS1 titles, and Ape Escape was among the offerings. The optimist in me hopes this sparks renewed interest in the franchise that will lead to remasters or remakes of the original trilogy. In the meantime, we could still get down to monkey business, put on our finest Peak Point helmet, and look at the game that started it all. It's Ape Escape for the PlayStation. In 1999, Sony would revolutionize the gaming industry forever with a new way to play. The first iteration of the DualShock was released, featuring dual analog sticks and a built-in motor for rumble. Sony had a winning formula on their hands that would last for 3 console generations. They had a controller previously named the Dual Analog Controller. This controller was abandoned due to the forced feedback technology used within. Atari Games had a patent on forced feedback already, although the feature remained in controllers exclusively for the Japanese market. Why do I bring this up to you? Because Ape Escape was the first video game to feature full-on dual analog control. You couldn't play Ape Escape without the DualShock. Ape Escape could be considered a tech demo disguised as a fully fledged title. The gameplay heavily relies on the right stick for various situations that doesn't involve moving the camera. This should come as a shock to modern gamers as it wasn't industry standard yet. Ape Escape opens with friends Spike and Jake racing each other to the professor's lab to see his latest invention, the time station. Trouble quickly spreads in paradise as Spike and Jake return to see the professor and his granddaughter Natalie all tied up. Monkeys have been let loose from the park by Spectre, the albino monkey we see in the opening intro, who stumbled upon a prototype Peak Point helmet. This helmet led to the events that followed by increasing Spectre's intelligence, which allowed him to unleash his fellow simian pals upon the world. Professor's time station has been compromised to wreak havoc across various points in history. From prehistory to modern day, it's up to Spike to save his friends from the monkeys and Spectre. You are first transported back in time to the land of the dinosaurs with your trusty stun baton and time net. Your objective for clearing each level is to capture a certain amount of monkeys. This is where the twin sticks are put to action. The tutorial area does a great job with getting players acquainted to the game's mechanics. The enemies can be dealt with using your stun baton and can be swung around in 360-degree motion. There are palm trees that Spike can climb to find various treasure. The monkeys sprinkled around the level must be captured with the handy-dandy time net. Ideally, the combo is to hit them with the stun baton and while they are down, grab them with the net. As you progress throughout the game, this becomes trickier to pull off. Levels become bigger and gives the monkeys more places to escape to. In addition, they all have varying degrees of intelligence and quirks. You must utilize each gadget you acquire in different scenarios based on the monkey's type. The monkeys have different colored pants, which indicates their typing. For instance, monkeys with white colored pants are hyper aware of your location even when you are in a prone state. Going prone makes you quiet and even affects the music too, which is a nice touch. It is better suited for the standard yellow pants monkeys who tend to be lackadaisical. In addition to their pants color, you have to contend with different attributes such as speed, attack, and alertness. The monkey radar lets you home in on a monkey's location and check their stats. They even gave them all names and a snippet of info about them. Take Mushi over here for instance. He is pooped from all that running around, that darn rascal. I absolutely love that the devs decided to add this rich amount of world building. The lore runs real deep, man, trust me. Since Mushi runs fast, you cannot catch him the first time you enter the Dark Ruins. Off on a quick tangent to tell you this track is a straight threat to my ears, but more on the soundtrack later because... Ooh boy. As I was saying, you will have to backtrack to capture monkeys once you get the required gadget. Mushi specifically requires the super hoop, which makes Spike run fast for a brief period of time and adds a hitbox. As you progress through the story, more gadgets will become available. The water net is used for swimming and capturing apes underwater. The slingback shooter is your standard slingshot with 3 different pellet types. Your standard ammo is good for flying enemies and hitting distant buttons. Since this type is unlimited, it's naturally weaker than the others. Offensively, you would want to hit a flying enemy who is not above a platform but a pit. Once they drop, they do not come back, and this only takes 1 pellet. Explosive pellets do much more damage to enemies and knocks apes over, so you can go in for the capture. Lastly, the guided pellets aren't strong, but they shoot off 3 pellets at once and home in on enemies. Like standard ammo, it's not ideal for knocking apes over for capture, but is an effective way to deal with multiple enemies. My personal favorite is the Sky Flyer, which allows Spike to hover in the air for a brief period of time. The longer you rotate the stick, the longer he remains in the air. It's always cool when games give you the ability for flight. It opens up a fun way to explore levels. The game teases you with an out of reach monkey in the first level. I wonder how you get up there. There are 2 races against the now brainwashed Jake, with the latter utilizing the Sky Flyer in the most fun ways. If they refined it a bit more, an Ape Escape on foot racer with Rayman Rush energy would have been a blast. The RC car is used to navigate small spaces that Spike normally couldn't fit through. This can pick up chips, which is the game's currency for 1-ups, hold buttons down for you to progress, and can be used to defeat enemies and knock apes over. It can be instantly brought back to you by clicking R3. Lastly, the magic punch doesn't become available till you beat the main story and can be used to destroy and open up glowing objects or containers housing monkeys respectively. It also becomes a stronger stun baton with longer range. In addition to capturing monkeys, there are collectible Spectre coins hidden in each level. These unlock 3 different mini-games depending on how many you obtain. Ski Kids Racing, Spectre Boxing, and Galaxy Monkey are unlocked at 10, 20, and 40 coins respectively. Hit the slopes in Ski Kids Racing and leave your opponents in the snow. Go toe to toe with rival monkeys in Spectre Boxing and channel your inner Mike Tyson, or blast your way through wave after wave of pigs, starfish, and whatever this is. Man oh man, the soundtrack for this game. I don't even know where to begin with this one. From the title screen to the end credits, this game has absolute bangers everywhere. Soichi Terada scored the soundtrack and is known for his atmospheric electronic music. They even brought him back for Ape Escape 3, and just like this game, he hits that soundtrack out of the park as well. Dark Ruins alone washes me over in a wave of calmness and joy. Krabby Beach, which features a remix of the opening cutscene track, is lighthearted and brings me right back to childhood. Compare this with the beautiful sunny blue sky and palm trees and you got a tropical paradise. So much is said in these songs with no vocals whatsoever. It doesn't get any more atmospheric than the Time Station. I would sit here for minutes at a time and just listen to the soothing beats. You get to come back to this wonderful place every time you complete a level. So come stay a while, we got mini games, game saves, and good vibes. The visuals were ahead of their time, and Sony clearly had time with the console to squeeze the most out of that gray rectangle. Dark Ruins is set in ancient ruins high in the sky. The mysterious atmosphere is complemented with the music and these weird looking onion dudes. Dexter's Island sees you going inside of a T-Rex mouth, and they managed to make that appealing. You are literally swimming in bile and hopping on bones, no less. Not to mention the walls are filled with guts. There isn't a whole lot of gripes for me to talk about, nostalgia bias aside. Due to the game's unique controls, the right stick would usually be used for camera control, but here you must recenter the camera often with L1, which can be annoying, but I became well adjusted after a while. New fans coming to this from modern day games might have a hard time adjusting to this. There is one thing we just cannot ignore. I am going to let these cutscenes speak for themselves. Whoa! Please help me!
Are you okay? Don't you remember anything at all? Have you forgotten about the apes? Or about working with Spectre?
This might butt heads with Mega Man X7's awful voice direction.
If you keep misbehaving, you won't get your snack.
Characters should be giving more reaction to what's going on, considering monkeys just attempted to take over the world. It's like the voice actors were just given a script without watching gameplay. Here, read this and collect your check, you filthy animal. I can look the other way for the basic story one-dimensional performances that's surmounted by stellar gameplay, some of the best visuals the PlayStation has to offer, unique controls, and one of the best soundtracks in gaming history if I do say so myself. Ape Escape was and is truly something special. It breaks my heart that Sony has little to no involvement with this series anymore. Seeing Ape Escape hit PS4 and 5 does give me a glimmer of hope for the future of the franchise. A remaster or from the ground up remake would be an awesome reveal for a state of play showcase that would have me going bananas. I could finally return to Monkey.
Yes!